Hello and welcome to another segment of the Radioactive Rant. I am your host, Lawrence Odie. Gonna get right into it. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired of all the knee-jerk hatred and vitriol that has been thrown at the first black president of the United States of America. Or rather, should I say, the United States of racism. When Bush 43 stole the presidency, or rather, it was given to him by the Supreme Court of the United States of America, my friends told me, because I had some reservations, that I had to respect the office of the presidency. Or they said, well, he's our president and you have to respect that. So be it. Those same people today, when President Obama was elected, told me they feared for their lives. They were buying guns. They were arming up. The revolution has arrived. So I've called out some of these haters. Particularly one incident on Facebook. I was on a friend's page, let's call the friend Jeff, and there was a known hater. And after a while, you get to know who they are. Anytime anybody says anything about President Obama, there it is. Oh, he's stupid. He's a jerk. He's an idiot. Knee-jerk expressions. So I knew this person to be a right-winger. He's running for office in my hometown of Lynn, Massachusetts. He's a Republican. He's a hater. He's a supremacist. He's a bigot. So I decided to call him up. I said, are you really pissed off that there's a nigger in the White House? Well, Lord have mercy. My friend Jeff just couldn't handle that. He had a meltdown. That I would be so politically incorrect as to use the word nigger on his page to his friend. He said of that whole incident to his friend, he says, he doesn't know who you are. Well, I just told you, I know who he is. But furthermore, I don't care. I don't care about that. I wanted to know if he was a bigot. Now, that person had to say to me, well, I don't approve the language, but yeah, no, I'm not a bigot. I'm not racist. I just don't like the man's politics. That's not what happened. My friend Jeff saw fit to unfriend me. And boy, I got to tell you, I lost a lot of sleep over that. No, I did not. Let me tell you something, people. I was a nigger yesterday, and I'm a nigger today, and I'm going to be a nigger tomorrow. And I was reminded of that from the time I was a little boy. I've had a cop call me Brownie. I've had a cop call me nigger. I even had a Tewksbury cop ask me upon a traffic stop why I had a pistol permit. Concealed, CCW, concealed weapons, whatever it's called, CCWW, whatever it's called. I got one. But that white cop, he couldn't understand that. I could almost see what was rolling through his head. Visions of Nat Turner, and probably didn't even know who Nat Turner was. He says, you're going to use this gun to kill whiteys. So I called out this person, I said what I had to say, and I was unfriended. Look I am not a step and fetch it brother. I will tell it like it is. And if you don't like the word nigger, well then you shouldn't have went over and bought a bunch of people from Africa and then invent a word for them, which was the word Negro, and they shortened that to nigger. I'm just saying what I've known all my life, and I make no apologies for that. Enough said. On to Black Lives Matter. All of a sudden, every little fucking thing under the sun matters, you'd think. Gnats on a cow's ass matter. Your stupid opinions matter. Which way the water flows down the toilet matters. Maggots matter. Your material possessions, you'd like for me to think, matter. everything seems to matter except the lives of young black people gunned down in the street and sometimes left to rot for hours. So what happens? Young black people, they're not going to take it anymore. They organize grassroots civil rights movement, and they call it Black Lives Matter. All of a sudden, that gets usurped. But before I talk about the usurping of Black Lives Matters, I just want to roll back to the civil rights movement that these kids developed, created. If you know your history and you can think back to 1960, what you're going to come up with is young black kids in Woolworth, at Woolworth lunch counter, the whites only lunch counter, doing a sit-in. Civil rights. That's what Black Lives Matter is all about. So it gets usurped. The Fraternal Order of Blue hire a public relations agency and they come up with All Lives Matter. I have some problems with that. If all lives matter, why does the right wing continuously hammer away at Planned Parenthood? Doesn't the right of women, don't women's rights matter? If all lives matters, what about the 43 students went missing in Mexico? No, their lives don't matter, they're brown people. All lives matter? What happened during the crack cocaine epidemic that decimated South Central Los Angeles? Black kids, black babies dropping like flies. No, those were black people. Their lives don't matter. If all lives matter, what about the 9 churchgoers at Bible study that were gunned down? Where was all lives matters then? If all lives matter, I should think that they would be out in the street waving the banners, beating the drum. I did not see that. If all lives matter, why is it that a 12-year-old black boy, Tamir Rice, with a toy gun in a park, get gunned down upon the arrival of a black cop or a white cop 2 seconds later? Sorry, white cop 2 seconds later. If all lives matter, how is that Eric Gardner died by the hands of police for selling Lucy's? If all lives matter, why is it that Michael Brown was shot supposedly for stealing cigars, but then his body is left in the streets to rot for hours? Let me tell you a little sideline here, or as an aside, about a tenet of slavery. Lynch the black man, shoot the black man, stab the black man while he's hanging from the poplar tree, and then leave the black man's body there to rot in the sun, on display for hours. Anybody seeing a correlation here? 1800s, the new millennium. If all lives matter, how is it that Ashton Sterling was murdered, pinned to the ground, and shot while cops lay on top of him? For what? Nobody even knows that. Just a black man murdered. As an aside to that, if all lives matter, and if the cops are doing their job because all lives matter, how come all the videos were confiscated? How come the owner of the store got taken in, hauled in, his video equipment, his surveillance equipment confiscated. After all, if all lives matter, well then certainly those cops were doing their job because all lives matter. And if all lives matter, how is it that Sandra Bland came to her death in the hands of police in Waller County, Texas? All lives matter. Well, all lives matter. How is it that Republicans practice obstruction when it comes to gun safety? All lives matter. Fewer guns on the street, less death. Fewer AR-15 ban. Hey, all lives matter. No, all lives do not matter. All lives seem to matter except black lives. So when young black kids get pissed off and so desperate, they decide they're not going to take it anymore and create a grassroots civil rights movement, then all of a sudden, everything under the sun matters. Bullshit.